System dynamics is a methodology that helps us model the real world, the complexity in the real world, and understand the consequences of our decisions.
Humanitarian organizations are often faced with demand that goes from near zero to millions and millions of units of their services or their goods that they can provide overnight, literally, or in the space of 2 hours. And so system dynamics, I think, is really valuable because it offers a tractable way to analyze the transient response. You know, what is going on to help an organization design its supply chain so that the transient response to that huge increase in demand is truly effective and effective in a timely way.
So when we think about this transient, the organizations need to line up suppliers. They need to ensure that their procurement process are in place. They need to, potentially, they need to understand which suppliers are offering which items, how to organize their supply chains, where can be the bottlenecks, right, to ensure that that these organizations are able to can deliver the goods that are required.
Well, I think that a lot of the management of those resources even though the resources may be latent in that they aren't shipping all the time, the management must be ongoing. And that's why in strategic planning, we use a stock and flow approach to understand resources and activities. So we view the resources as accumulations that help the organization live out its mission, its identity, who it's called to be in the world. And so we ask the students in the course of examining the resources they have to look at the accumulations both inside and outside their organization that are critical to help them live out what they are to do. And this stock and flow grammar, which is fundamental to system dynamics, is actually eye-opening to the students.
So can you tell us more about these stocks and these flows? Meaning, what are the policies associated with increasing the flow so that we build up the resources and then we can do the activities, or reducing the flow so that the resources are enough to meet the requirements? Can you tell us more about that?
Well, you know that we learned that you can't change the level of a stock and accumulation except through what goes in or what goes out. As much as different organizations and governmental bodies would like to make mandates that instantly change the level of an accumulation, you know, whether it's a bad accumulation like malnourished children or a good accumulation, just saying you want it to be different doesn't make it happen. What would you say about how your understanding of the supply chain needs of humanitarian organizations has been affected from the point of view of system dynamics, this lens of accumulations and behavior over time?
That's an interesting point. I mean, one of the things that I see it as it has been affected is through this deeper understanding of how things are interconnected. And so I think that when participants, when students learn about stocks and flows, and they get a glimpse of the dynamics associated with those simple systems, that, as you pointed out, helps them understand policies, direct policies, decisions that they control affect those. Now, the other thing that I find it very valuable, also in operations, is they start to build linkages with different stocks and flows. So, for instance, you need to understand those stocks and flows of people and how those decisions actually influence the decisions on other resources. For example, logistic resources. So it might be trucks, it might be the ability to build kits that they will deliver, and things of the sort. So from a point of view of the basic frameworks that we teach people in system dynamics is, understanding the stocks and flows, the policies that will influence them, and then linkages that start kind of unraveling this mapping throughout the supply chain.
One of my favorite things about the method of system dynamics is that it allows for bifocal vision. You can look at the details of organizational operations and also at the holistic, what is formed by the interconnections among those different elements of details. And there aren't that many methodologies that can offer a holistic view that can be engaged analytically in pieces if needed, but also engaging the intangible elements of an organization as well as the tangible, countable elements of infrastructure.